Hello everyone, today we have another live stream. I can guess that we'll have more while it works. So here I decided to choose something bigger than before. So in the previous video reviews we've checked 1/72 and 1/44 scale aircraft. Here we come with 1/32 scale aircraft, as you can see it's written here. And it is made by ICM and it copies Bu131A. It's a German training aircraft, and as you can see this time we get quite an interesting marking option. It is depicted on the box art, and so this review is fully dedicated to this release, and this is a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video. I think it is already available in Modelimex webshop, so you can get directly to their website and order it. And first of all, I would like to start with the size of the box. As you can see, it barely fits into the frame. We have nice box art on the front. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Then on this side we have some information about this kit, so I'm going to show it like this. I hope camera will be able to focus on it. Just give me a moment. Maybe not, maybe yes. Yes, it focused. So here we have short history note and also some information about the plastic kit itself. There are only 92 parts in this scale, which is quite unusual, I would say. And note that assembled model will have a wingspan of 231 millimeters. Not that big in my opinion. So let's flip it over. Once again, the box structure is typical for this manufacturer. By the way, here on this side we have just a marking of the same aircraft which is depicted on the box art, so that's why I did not show it. But as I said, the box or the packaging style is typical for ICM, so I'm going to leave this color printed section. And this color printed section is printed on the thin paper. As you can see, it is quite flexible, it doesn't provide any protection. What is actually protecting is this white cardboard box, and it is typical for any ICM release. I would say it's a really good feature of their kits, because sometimes we just get let's say thin boxes which are easily damaged during shipment. Here we open it, and here is what we have inside. So all plastic sprues are packed into the same plastic bag, and we have plenty of space inside, so I guess everything should arrive to you intact. At least it arrived to me intact. I don't see any free-flying parts. And on the bottom we have assembly manual. Of course we will check it a bit later. I would like to start with plastic bits, and then we move to the assembly manual so that we know the assembly process. And I can guess that in assembly manual we also have the decals. It is also quite traditional for ICM. This is a resealable plastic bag, so I'm going to open it. And we will take a look at these parts. When this kit was released, I was quite surprised by the amount of parts, but I would say it's really cool that ICM decided to have it as simple as it is possible. Because before it was trendy to have more parts in the bigger scales, but I mean, it was reasoned because manufacturers wanted to have better detailing, but now it is, let's say, fashionable to have less parts and also nice detailing out of the box. I'm not sure which approach you prefer, but I would say it's really great to have it out of the box like this. And as you can see here on the first frame we have engine parts, we have cowling parts here, we have also wing, and wing should be glued out of 2 halves. I will flip over this sprue, you will see it. The same can be said about landing gear wheels. Here we have more of the cowling parts, here we have various struts and also cockpit elements. As you can see, they are molded in form of these nice frames. And overall molding quality seems to be really good, and even those frames should be easy to separate, but I would recommend to use the plastic saw because it will be less tricky to separate this part. Just give me a second, I will try to reduce the brightness because it will help us see the parts better. Now let's flip it over. Here you can see that we have 1/2 of the wing, but we have guiding elements inside, so it should be relatively easy to work with this big part. The same can be said about those, for example, wheel parts. With wheel parts we have the middle section which is serving as a guiding elements. And okay, so for this sprue I think we are done. We have the next one Actually, there are 3 plastic sprues, so we have also this small one, which is molded like this. I will place it here. Let's zoom in. Now you should be able to see it. Again, here we have various cowling parts. Note that frontal section is molded as one piece part. We have also the engine parts, and I can guess those parts will be used in today's version because there are new ones. I did not see them before. And if we flip it over, here we can see that we have guiding pins for the engine parts, which will help you with proper placement of those two halves together. The same can be said about this frontal section cowling. We have here the slightly raised surface, which will help you to place the part into the right position. Then we have this small plastic bag with clear parts, so just give me a second to open it. Here, as you can guess, we get the, let's say, the canopy parts. Those are windshields. Here they are. Maybe we can zoom even more so that you can see them. So, as I said, we have 2 windshields and 2 instrument panels. There are no masks for those clear parts, so you will have to do it with your own hands. And molding quality seems to be fine. I don't have any complaints here. And next, we have this large plastic sprue. Actually, that's the last one. Let's zoom out a bit. Now you should be able to see it. So here we have more of the wing parts, as you can see. We also have the fuselage halves, and note that the left half is molded together with tail segment, which will be used as a guiding element. Here we have also the tail wing parts, and again, attachment points, it is visible that manufacturer tried to reduce it to the possible minimum. Then if we flip it over, here you can see again that we have guiding elements here for the fuselage halves. Those are guiding pins. And of course the cowling area, the engine bay area, is molded separately, so you have to attach it to the fuselage sub-assembly. Be ready for this. Okay. Next, as you remember, we have the assembly manual. Here it is. It is printed in form of this large brochure. I'm going to zoom out a bit so that you can see a bit more, maybe slightly more. Okay, now it should be visible. So on the first page we have short history note in Russian and English, also some paints charts on the paints which will be used here. Next we have the parts map, and as you can see, some parts won't be used even though we have quite small amount of parts. Still some elements will be unused. And then we have Decals sheet here. So as you can see, it is quite big, I would say, but it is big because of those aircraft numbers. And also here we have some decals for the instrument panel, so at least something in the cockpit will be detailed. But I would recommend getting the aftermarket set from Edward. It should upgrade the cockpit, and such change will be noticeable in big scale, so it's definitely worth investing into this thing. Then here we start assembly process. So as you can see, everything starts with wing part. Here we work on the cockpit floor. Then we continue with cockpit walls, which will be inserted into the fuselage halves. Here we assemble the engine. As you can see, there are several steps to do. Next, we install the engine onto the special holding frames. As you can see, there are special installing points or guiding pins, so no worries, it should be relatively easy. Here we join the fuselage halves together, then we assemble the tail surfaces. Here we install the tail wings in place. Here we install the wing and fuselage together, so we basically join them. Next we continue with various cockpit elements. Here, as you can see, you install the dashboard into this top section of the fuselage, and here you can see the process of the installation. Then pilot seat is inserted into the cockpit sub-assembly, I would say. Here we continue working on the nose area. As you can see, we install the firewall, then we close everything with this top cover. Here the separate doors, and manufacturer shows them as a in a closed position, let's say, but definitely you should think about opening them, especially if you get the P set for the cockpit. It's worth thinking on how to open these those doors. Here we install the engine, and as you remember, we have one piece cowling panel here. Then we continue with the frontal section of the cowling. Here we install the windscreens, here we install also the lower panels of the bonnet, and those are obviously the wing ports. As you can see, the top wing is assembled out of two halves, there are separate ailerons, and also you have to be careful with those struts. They're not only thin, but you have also to get the right alignment of those parts together. So be careful, do not hurry with this, and you will be fine. Here we install the top wing into the place. Again, landing gear wheels, maybe there is aftermarket resin replacement available for this, so if you have a chance to replace them, I would recommend to do so, because in 1/32 scale it will be noticeable. Then we continue with landing gear system installation here. Then here we join with the landing gear struts, the landing gear wheel. Next we have the rigging scheme. That's the most interesting part of the build. Be ready for this. This is a classic biplane, so that's why you have to deal with it. Here we have the first marking option, which comes from 1936, and the second marking option comes from 1939. So in total there are only 2 markings, which is quite surprising, I would say. But we have what we have, so you have to work, or you have to choose out of those 2. So as I said, this kit is already available for purchase in any good model shop. Modenimax has them for sure, so if you would like to have it, just go to their website. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this kit here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, because it will help us greatly. And you can also click the subscribe button here. There should be also bell button somewhere here. So bell button will actually ensure that you will be notified about any fresh video reviews. And I will see you in a second, I think in several minutes, because we will have another live stream. Stay tuned and bye.